Hi there. Welcome back to Journey with Joan. I'm a caregiver for my mom, Joan, who's in the picture there, who has dementia. So if you're tuning in from Messages of Hope, welcome back. And if you're tuning in from Journey with Joan, thank you so much for watching. And if you could please subscribe, like, and comment and let me know that I'm making a difference out there in the internet world, that would be amazing. So here I am. It is July 1st here in Canada. So it's Canada Day. So it's when we celebrate our independence here in Canada. And, today I'm so grateful. It is 2021. And what I wanted to share about today is, our beliefs, how they're created, they're inherited from our ancestors, from our parents. Money doesn't grow on trees. You have to work hard for money. What were your beliefs around money? What were your beliefs around yourself and school? If you have a challenge at reading, did your parents say, "Oh, you're no good at reading, just like me"? Our family wasn't very educated, or no one had a college degree or came from university, and we're just tradesmen. Tradesmen, is that the right word? you know um, when I was growing up, my mom's from England, so she would help me read, but when she pronounced the words, she pronounced them differently. So I had a hard time. Well, I don't know, I made up the reason that I had a hard time reading because my mom couldn't read like everybody else. The whole phonetic and how things were pronounced, I had a hard time learning that. My mom would help me, but she pronounced it differently. So looking back on it, that's when I'm like, oh, that's why I had such a hard time. I'm wearing my fancy earrings and all dressed up because it's Canada Day. Not really, but just thought I put my flashy earrings in because I love them. Anyway, so what were you taught? What beliefs did you take on? Because you weren't good at spelling, or you were great at spelling, you were great at talking. What did that give you the confidence to do? Did you go into some sort of career educating when really you love to sing, or you were a great artist? Which direction did you go into based on your beliefs you made up about yourself or what your parents said about you? And then how has that navigated your life up until now? And then those beliefs that you've taken on about yourself, when you're raising kids, and it's just like, oh yeah, you know what, so-and-so's just like me, he's not very good at school, he's dyslexic just like me. Sorry, I keep looking around at the picture below instead of looking at the camera while I'm talking. So I will continue to look at the camera while I'm talking. Yeah, so these beliefs, we take these beliefs on as real. I wasn't very good at reading when I was a kid. And I remember standing up and having to read in front of the class, and my face went beet red. And I would, when I get stuck on a word, I would stop and freeze and get embarrassed. And my face would go beet red. I was terrified, because I wasn't as quick, or I wasn't as fast as everybody else in the class. And my girlfriends that I went to school with, one lived across the street from me, who you are, and one, lived a couple streets over, and they were super smart. My one girlfriend who we're still friends with, we actually send each other gratitude every day. So shout out Cindy. But her family, her sisters were all teachers, and she was super, super smart. And so I always compared myself to her or to my other girlfriend who was, really great readers. And I made it mean that I'm not smart, but I was a dancer, right? I was creative. I had other things that I could do. So reading wasn't I didn't beat myself up about it, but I definitely took that on as an identity and an identity for myself. I'm just not good at this, right? Instead of recognizing, and friends used to make fun of me when I couldn't pronounce a word. And you don't know when your kids, you're joking around, and I made fun of people I make fun of people all the time. Then I have to like stop and go, wait a second, you know, they might have an insecurity about that one thing that I'm making fun about. Like I'm just, to me, it's an expression of love. But however, if someone pokes fun at you of something that you're insecure about, you could really, really be upsetting that person over there, because my communication, might really be having an impact with you over there and upsetting you more and more. Just like if I don't make fun of you, but I say to you as a friend, you're beautiful. Oh my goodness, you're so talented. And you don't believe that about yourself. But every time I see you, I just say, oh my God, you're so talented. You're so beautiful. Well, that's great. But if you're over there and you're like going, oh my gosh, I'm so ugly, I'm so fat, it doesn't matter what I say to you. I mean, it does matter. The self-talk, really what we have within ourselves, our own dialogue, rules how we move through the day. And, what I'm discovering is that I've been, as part of a book club a couple of months ago, and I finished this book with, my friend Amber Howard. She just started up a book club. We read this book. She had the authors on. She had them come on, and we were able to ask them questions. And for the first time, I read this book, a chapter a week, and was a part of this book club, and it was so much fun. And we would meet every Sunday and come on and talk about the chapter and what it opened up for us. And that was huge for me. That was huge for me at 50 some years old, to be a part of a book club and to finish a book. Right. And I used to have it, oh, I'm not a great reader. Oh, I just need to listen to audios. But it's like that self-talk that takes you out, so you don't even try reading. Right. And then, I'm reading a book every morning with a friend of mine, and this is the book that we're reading. And it's fantastic. It's fantastic. And I stumble on my words when I read, but instead of getting embarrassed or telling myself that I can't read, I calm myself down, and, my friend, I just stop and I laugh and I go, okay, what's that word? I'm stuck. Sometimes she knows how to pronounce it and sometimes she doesn't. And we look up the word and then we move on. But we read little bite-sized pieces of the chapter, or, a few pages every morning, and then we discuss what's opening up for us. So why am I coming on here and sharing about this? Because it's our limiting beliefs, even, within yourself, or how you pass it along to your family members, to your child, to yourself. Maybe you created this belief about yourself. Oh, I'm no good at that. I made up that belief at 9, 10 years old. I wanted to be an actress. And then, when I went and started going to college, it's like, oh my God, I got to be a great reader, because I've got to read these scripts. If I was going to get cast into a TV role, I got to read these scripts. I got to learn this dialogue. And I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize. And I was, going to be a dancer and a singer, but I wanted to be an actress. But you have to read the scripts. You have to understand characters. And I didn't realize I needed that skill later on in life. But anyway, so I made that belief up about myself when I was 10 years old. And then here I am, and I, half a century years old, and letting that go. I can do anything I want to do if I say so. So where in your life is, your belief stopping you? I used to say, I can't be a caregiver and take care of my mom. Excuse me. I can't take care of my mom and have a successful career. I can't take care of my mom and have a loving, amazing relationship. Right? I just can't do it. I can't, my mom doesn't like anything that I cook. So why should I even bother cooking? I go to cook something and like, oh, why am I even bother? She's not going to like anything. Well, give it up. Give up that conversation. Maybe today she might like that, what you're cooking. And what do you want? I'm saying this to myself. what do I want to eat today that's healthy, that's going to feed my body and soul? You know? And so these conversations that we're having with ourselves, you know, I can't do this anymore. I can't take care of my loved one and do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. This conversation in your head is going to take you out, right? So focus on the moment, focus on the day. You know, what limiting beliefs are you telling yourself about your loved one or about yourself that you can change today? Just get curious. Just say, what if I think this thought about it? I'm going to make something new today and she's going to love it. I'm going to make something new today for me, you know, because as a caregiver, if you're not taking care of yourself first, you certainly can't take care of your loved one. So I hope this is a value of conversation. You know, I come on here every week to share about my journey with Joan and share my magic moments and my tips and tricks and my challenges. But this challenge of the limiting belief of I can't take care of my mom and have a successful career. I can't take care of my mom and have a loving, amazing relationships, and really giving up that conversation and going, okay, what can I ask myself, or what can I create this week to change? You know, and my mom has just been, you know, again, I shared with you guys that we're using this new product. It's a patch. It's a little patch that you put on. And yes, you can get them through me. You can reach out to me and I can send you the information on them. But it's light therapy, and it gets your body to stimulate its own stem cells. And I'm telling you guys, my mom has been amazing this week. She remembered we were coming back from a different city and we were driving into town. And she's like, oh, we live over here. And I go, yeah, Mom, we do. And she's like, I said, tell me how to get home. She's like, okay. She's like, well, you turn here. I'm like, okay. And then we're driving up to our little subdivision. She's like, you turn here. I'm like, okay. And I said, do you know what street we are? She's like, of course I do. She's like, you turn up here. And then she's like, and that's where so-and-so lives, our neighbor. She said our neighbor's name. And she goes, and we live there. Now, she's never spelled it out for me and been so certain. She couldn't tell me the name of the street. She couldn't tell me the name and the number of the house, but she knew exactly where she lived. And what I'm finding is, you know, an angel, and I know you're watching me, my angel, my neighbor Joe came, and, you know, he's such a sweet man. He always helps me out when it's snowing or with my lawn sometimes. And he came over and he cut our grass for us. He's just such a sweet angel. So thank you, Joe, if you're listening. And he came and he trimmed one of my, one of the trees in the backyard. And later on that day, she sees all the cuttings because I told him to leave it because it was the hottest day of the year. He's here helping me. I'm like, oh my God, such a savior. Thank you. And but she looks out in the backyard. And she's like, why is that all over there? Like all the tree cuttings, right? And I said, well, Mom, our neighbor Joe came over. I said, remember? And I kind of spelled it out for her. And she looked at me and she's like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, he did that. Oh, that's so great. And then, then a few minutes later, a little while later, then she'll ask me the same question again. But what's shifting is before, when I would ask her or try to, remind her of it, she would just be like, oh, I don't remember, or oh, and then her mind would drift and she wouldn't even try to remember. But now she's like, she's thinking. I can see her thinking. She's thinking, she remembers, and, I'm not in denial of, oh, I wanted to share this. I'm giving up the belief that my mom has dementia, right? Like that's how it's been diagnosed, dementia and Alzheimer's mix. I'm not in denial of what's happening in my world every day. However, words, what we say, I'm not a good reader. I can't have a life and take care of my loved one. It's everything that we believe is created in language. So I shared with my girlfriend, I said, I'm choosing to believe that my mom is just confused sometimes. And the other night, before she went to bed, she woke up, like she hadn't been asleep yet, but she came looking for me. She's like, Jackie. And I'm like, yes, Mom. She's like, looking around the house. She's like, is this my house? And I said, yes, Mom, it's your house. And she giggled and she's like, I thought so. She's like, I was just a little confused. She actually said those words to me. And I just said to my girlfriend, I'm really present to my limit, like my beliefs about myself and other people and this situation. And I just said to my girlfriend, I'm going to believe that my mom's just a little confused. And like within like 2 days, she said that to me. She's like, I'm just a little confused. So it's really, what we take on as our beliefs and how our beliefs are developed, about ourselves, about other people. Men are like this. I don't trust men because yada, 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 and really taking that on. And then now that filter of your belief, when you're looking at men or you're looking at your mom or you're looking at yourself, or someone's recommending a book and they're like, I'm not a reader. You're not even open to the possibilities that are present for you. So those are a few of my magic moments. My mom came running up to me yesterday with this singing elephant that I shared, but she came down the hall with she was laughing and just like giving me this elephant, and she came and she gave it to me and she gave me a big hug, and the elephant sings, "You are my sunshine." So those are my magic moments. So I just, I wanted to share, what are you carrying around with you? Is there some belief that you're carrying around about your loved one or yourself or somebody else that maybe you can just say, what can I tell myself about that person or myself or my loved one? To sort of shift your context, right? Because our beliefs really create how we view life and how we go through every moment. So which ones can you take off your shoulders and lighten your load so that you can have more joy in your day? So I love you. Thank you so much for listening in, holding me accountable to coming on every week and sharing, because, the other day I'm like, what am I going to share about? And happy Canada Day to my fellow Canadians. And what magic moment can you create today? We always get stuck on, oh, I wish I was here. I wish I was there. I wish I didn't do this. But maybe you can just look at the day and go, what would be great today? What can I create today? Can I call that person and have them over? Can I call my dad and just say hi? Not because you need something, but just to say hi. How are you? What can you do today that's going to make a difference for somebody else and yourself? And if you're a caregiver who's taking care of your loved one, you're not alone. You're doing the best you can. Be kind with yourself. Have grace for them. They're just as confused as you are and just as frustrated as you are sometimes. So just have some grace with yourself. And I always come back to gratitude, right? We can't be mad and angry and be in a place of gratitude in the same moment. So what are you grateful for? I'm grateful for you for listening. I'm grateful for this platform to share my story. I'm grateful for my mom and her fun personality. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful to know that I'm not alone. I'm grateful to question myself daily and ask myself, does this thought serve me? Am I coming from a place of fear? Am I coming from a place of love? All right, guys, have a fantastic day. Thank you for tuning in. I am going to be developing a podcast. Haven't come up with a name yet, so I'm in the creation of a podcast. I'm in the creation of a book, and I'm still writing some lyrics. I wrote some lyrics the other day. Called my friend Joan, hey, can you write a melody to this? Just have some grace and fun with yourself today. And thank you for listening. And I hope I'm making a difference. And pick up this book, or pick up a book. Pick up some sort of book that you maybe want to read with a friend, and you can be a contribution to them. It doesn't have to be this book, any book, right? All right. Have a fantastic day. And if you're saying you're not a reader, I wasn't a reader either. I'm reading. And I'm giving up the conversation that I'm not a reader. So anyway, have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Please check out, if you're tuning in from the Messages of Hope, check out all the other people on the Messages of Hope channel. They have such a lot of information that can be a contribution to you. Please subscribe. Yeah, and thank you for tuning in and listening to me and supporting me and my mom on my journey with Joan. And have a fantastic day.